Doctor Who has had many spin-offs, but arguably its most famous one is the Sarah Jane Adventures. And inside the Sarah Jane Adventures, there was one villain that stood out from all the rest, the Trickster. And as much as he's so evil, I love him. He's my favourite villain in all of the Whoniverse, and I'd love for him to finally make the proper show. And there is some hefty evidence that he is going to be in this season's finale. So let's jump right into it. But before all that, please do drop a like and subscribe on this video with the notification bell on as well, so you get notified every single time I post. Please, please, please. We're so close. I've just hit 500 subscribers as well, so thank you all so much for that. We're halfway to the big one. But yeah, let's hop into the evidence. Okay, so let's flash back now to season 1. So in season 1, episode 2, The Devil's Chord, the Doctor and Ruby come across a god, the god of music, Maestro. Now, Maestro is the god of music, and at a point in the episode, Maestro captures Ruby, kidnaps her, and takes her to this big, open, sort of courtyard room where loads of bands play their music, and that. Maestro levitates Ruby in the air, and then says, wait, there's a hidden song inside of her. And then Ruby starts to sing this.
Maestro, I am asking you just... What?
Now this sounds awfully familiar to a certain villain's theme song. Take a little listen to this. This is the Trickster's theme.
This is for you.
Wow. It's beautiful.
Pretty similar, isn't it? Just in case you want to hear them side by side, here they are.
Maestro, I am asking you just...
Is for you.
Wow.
So this led me to believe that maybe the Trickster would be the main villain in the season 1 finale, which didn't happen. But he did get name dropped by Harriet Arbinger in The Legend of Ruby Sunday as Trickster, the god of traps. Now this whole era of Russell T Davies is based on gods and the pantheon of gods and things like that, and we know the Trickster is part of this pantheon of gods because Harriet confirmed it in The Legend of Ruby Sunday. Some more evidence, Russell worked heavily on the Sarah Jane Adventures. He pretty much created it and wrote majority of the scripts, but something that's interesting, Russell didn't actually write the Trickster episodes. These episodes were written by other writer Gareth Roberts, who wrote a few Doctor Who episodes back in the day, but wrote the Trickster episodes of the Sarah Jane Adventures. So this does sort of push the theory that the Trickster's gonna be back because Russell was involved a lot in the Sarah Jane Adventures, but it does sort of push it back this way a little bit because he didn't actually write the Trickster episodes, but he has the capability to do that. For example, he didn't write the Sutekh episodes. Granted, his representation of Sutekh wasn't great, but for example, he didn't write the Auton episode in Classic Who, but he did write the Auton episode in Series 1 with Christopher Eccleston. He didn't write any of the Cybermen episodes, but he wrote a few Cybermen episodes in his first run. So you don't actually need to write the main villain's previous stories to continue it, but it does help. So I don't actually think this takes back from the theory as much as some people might think. Now, whilst we're on Sarah Jane Adventures, there was a scrapped big finale episode which was titled The Battle of Bannerman Road. If you don't know Sarah Jane Adventures, she lives on a street called Bannerman Road, and it's where she does all her alien adventure tech things in her attic, in her loft, in her house on Bannerman Road. Now, Sarah Jane Adventures actually ended on Series 4. They did a big farewell Sarah Jane episode, that was that. But then it did get revived for a Season 5, and at the start of Season 5, we meet this girl here called Skye. Now, Skye just appears pretty much on Sarah Jane's doorstep, and Sarah Jane takes her in and goes, well, I like you. There's pretty much all our kids just appear out of nowhere, but she's like, I like you, I'll take you on board. So for the whole of Series 5, we've got this new character called Skye. Now, something people will notice about Series 5 of the Sarah Jane Adventures is it has significantly less episodes than all of the series before. This is due to the sad death of lead actor Elizabeth Sladen, who plays Sarah Jane Smith. They never got to finish what was truly going to be the ending to the show, which is a bit sad. But we know Russell likes to reuse ideas, so let me explain to you what was going to happen in the big finale, The Battle of Bannerman Road. It was going to be revealed that Skye was the daughter of the Trickster and was sent as a sort of harbinger, warning type thing to Sarah Jane. So this leads back to my theory from Season 1 last year, where I thought, well, Russell likes to reuse ideas. Maybe Ruby is the daughter of the Trickster this time. And it doesn't help the fact that Ruby's mum throughout the whole series was dressed as the Trickster. It was literally like a Trickster cosplay. But something I will say about this series, I really do think Ruby's dad is important, and it's very Russell to sort of trick us in the first series to think, well, Ruby's actually not that important, she's important because we think she's important, and then pull a twist in the epic season 2 finale. People might be thinking I'm just hoping for something that's not there, but there's been multiple lines this series and at the end of last series, which is where Ruby's talking about her dad. For example, the end of Empire of Death, Ruby gets a call saying that someone's found her dad, which is just subtle foreshadowing into the next series, I feel, from Russell. And I can't remember if there's something in Joy to the World that said about the dad. I'm not sure on that one. But even in the episode that's just gone, Lucky Day, you know, Ruby's like on the podcast with Conrad, and she's like, oh, well, I've recently found my mum and I found my dad, but he's a really long story. That's not just a throwaway line. If there was nothing to do with Ruby's dad, it wouldn't be in there. Russell, even though he didn't write this episode, I think has planted that in as a little teaser. He loves a teaser. He loves a little build-up, overarching story. It's that. I can really see something happening this series with her dad, and I think it could be this Trickster plot that we were all debating in season 1. And I'm just hoping he comes back because I just love him. I'm going to share with you a quick theory from the Confused Adipose, who's another great Doctor Who creator. This is his theory, and I actually quite like it. So in the 5th Doctor era, there was some characters that reappeared every now and then called the Black and White Guardian. And there's an episode where, what's his name? Turlo, that's his name, Turlo. So Turlo crashes a car, he crashes the Brigadier's car in one of the episodes, and he dies, basically. And the Black Guardian comes along and goes, "Ooh, Turlo, I can bring you back to life as long as I have your consent and you do something for me." Which is essentially the Trickster. The only difference being the Black Guardian brings people back to life so they can do quests for him, whereas the Trickster just feeds off time changing. So they are quite similar, but they do have a little difference. Now, Russell's mentioned that in this season's finale, the Doctor faces the unholy trinity. Now, obviously, there's a Black and a White Guardian, and then maybe the Trickster on top as well, making 3. So the theory is that in Wish World, there's some sort of wish bone, because we've seen a lot of bones around, and in Wish World, somebody wishes, I'm thinking it might be Conrad or Mrs. Flood, wish that the reality changes and the Trickster feeds off the reality changing, and the Black and White Guardian are there as well. If you want to see his theory, go over to his channel. It's a great theory. I've probably butchered it there, but I do like it. And obviously this features the Trickster as well. I just really want my Trickster back on my TV. It's been, what, 15 years probably since the last time we saw the Trickster? No, I want to say it's been that long. It's been a long time. Anyway, let me know in the comments, do you think that the Trickster is coming back? And while you're in the comments, you might as well click a like and subscribe with the notification bells on so you get notified every single time I post. That's the right one. But for now, I've been Sam, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.